Good morning, Blues. Welcome back to another video and your daily dose of Manchester City news. And today, it's about one man in particular, our Brazilian goalkeeper, Ederson. It looks like he could be on the verge of a shock move to the Saudi Pro League, which is wild, absolutely wild. But that is where we're at today. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about loads more. I do want you involved in the comments below, so if you're watching live right now, give the video a like, help support the channel as well. Subscribe while you're at it. I'm so close to 70k. I want to get there. Do me a massive favour, subscribe to the channel, get involved in the comments, get involved in everything else. Morning, Daddy. Don't get involved in the comments like Massoum's get involved in the comments. Well, actually do go wild. However you want to, if you're watching live right now. Hello to Paul, to Julia, to Bido. Good morning to you all. I do want your take on this. Once again, give the video a like, subscribe. It does help support the channel. So today we're talking about Ederson, and we're talking about Ortega, and we're talking about what this could potentially mean for Manchester City Football Club. I've been saying on this channel for a while that I felt like there's going to be a big exit this summer, a surprise one as such. This is not necessarily a surprise, but it would be a surprise if you asked someone 2-3 months ago. Absolutely would be. Julia saying good moaning. Maybe that's more fitting given what this video is going to be about today. But I feel like this is the surprise that I was talking about, that there was going to be a big exit. There was going to be someone who left that we probably didn't want to leave, because that Saudi money is there now. And a lot of these players have achieved an awful lot at Manchester City that they possibly are eyeing up a new challenge. But before we get into the details, let's go to the actual story. Let's head over to Fabrizio Romano. You say what you want about him, but it's very obvious that he's well sourced, that this stuff comes from agents, that this stuff is from people who want people to know about things. So let's go to the article, or the tweet even. Fabrizio said, Manchester City are aware of Ederson in talks with the Saudi Pro League club since May and keep their position. Ederson can leave in case he wants to. City are still waiting for the opening bid from Nassr or Saudi clubs. City's first goalkeeper, if Ederson leaves, will be Stefan Ortega. Now, this is in line with stuff from other people yesterday who said, let me find the tweets from yesterday, from another journalist who claimed that he had agreed a deal potentially already. I do think that's probably true. I think the terms have been, here we go. Apparently, Ederson is in... Oh, no agreement yet to the clubs. Apparently, CL Merlo, whoever this guy is, this is Cesar Luis Merlo, got an awful lot of followers. There you go, 360,000. I'm sure there's some credibility there. It says, Nassr have offered Ederson a 2-year contract worth 60 million euros. Absurd money, by the way. Should the player give the green light to move, the Saudi club will then work on a deal with Manchester City. So that would be over 2 million euros per month, which is an awful lot of money. You're looking at 500 grand per week. That's just a stupid amount of money. That doesn't even include any potential add-ons or bonuses or whatever. The guy's probably going to be clearing, 30 million, 40 million a year. It's an awful lot of money. It's a stupid amount of money for anyone to consider. And I think there's something in this. I do feel this is unfortunately genuine. I do feel he's considering this. And I think it's sort of, as Patrick said, tax-free as well. Never mind how much he's going to get paid as well to probably promote the league. We all saw those posts from all the players in Saudi around the World Cup and so on. Not the World Cup, just around the league in general. And there was an awful lot of money going to those players to promote the league. So he's going to get a lot of money, basically, is what I'm getting at. And I do feel there's something in this. Like let's look at the context of where Ederson's at. Ederson has been at Manchester City since 2017. He has won multiple league titles. He's won the Club World Cup. He's won the Champions League. He's won the FA Cup. He's won the Carabao Cup. He's won the Community Shield. He's won an awful lot. He's earned an awful lot of money during that time. And he's made his name as one of the best keepers in world football, as Brazil's often #1, of course, challenging alongside Ederson. He's had a very good time over the past several years. Ederson now is, let me just double check his age. I'm pretty certain he's either 30 or 31. He is 30 years old. He turns 31 in August, so next month. So basically, 31 years old. I wouldn't say he's at the end of his career because he's a goalkeeper. He could probably play to his mid to late 30s quite easily. But he's in the twilight of his career. I would say that it's dusk right now. It's not nighttime, but it's dusk, and he's getting a little bit. He's probably thinking about his family. He doesn't strike me as the kind of keeper who will play until he's 38. I can imagine him getting to 34, 35, and going, maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe he'll go home to Brazil and play. Maybe he'll eventually play outfield somewhere. But I think there's something in this. Now, according as well, Masoom pointed out in the chat, according to our resident in the know, Tommy, he did say that it'd be around a 35 million signing on fee. I don't know how true that is, but I would not be surprised if it's double-digit signing on fee at all. Even if it was 10 million signing on fee, you'd be like, wow, that's insane. So, as Josh said in the chat as well, this is probably going to be his last big contract move. And you've got to, once again, add the context that is, he's just completed football recently, 4 in a row, treble. He's done it all. He's basically made his name and he's made his reputation in football. He will go down as our probably greatest ever goalkeeper. You can argue amongst yourself, but successfully, he's absolutely, a Manchester City legend. He's our most decorated goalkeeper ever. You could argue like of Bert Troutman, obviously Joe Hart, a great keeper, people like that. But so Ederson, for what he's achieved, yeah, he's up there. He's probably he's definitely our, best ever keeper. He just is. Patrick said as well, good point. Given the lack of work he's had to do compared to other keepers, he could probably play until 55. He's barely had to do anything as a Manchester City keeper. That's a good point, So he's in a good place, basically. And you also have to then add the fact that at the end of the season, he didn't look that happy, did he? We can't ignore that. He looked a little bit off towards the end of last season. It was very obvious he was not happy at all when he had to come off against Spurs. He was in tears. People were trying to sort of, console him. And he felt like his nose was out of whack a little bit. Like he wasn't fully confident in his situation as Manchester City's guaranteed number one. Ortega had that really good moment, of course, against Spurs. People were praising him, people were talking about Ortega being a challenger. Guardiola's come out and said as well, previously the gap between 1 and 2 used to be really big, but now it's as close as it's ever been. So Guardiola loves Ortega, everyone loves Ortega. I feel like for the first time Ederson has had his pride hit a tiny bit, and I love Ederson, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's felt a little bit put off. His ego is hurting a little bit because he's always been the number one. He's got a little bit of criticism, and everyone's praising his number 2. I feel like, given what he's achieved, given his age, given that he doesn't feel like he's 1 billion% secure, and given that he's not paid anywhere near what some of our superstars are paid, and given this money that he's been offered, I can see his family being tempted by this as well as him. He will be absolutely fine with the climate. This is a kid born in Brazil. He probably prefers the climate. Ederson 1 billion% strikes me as the kind of guy who goes to Dubai or somewhere like that on holiday. I know it's a different place, but you know what I'm on about. I can imagine him being very comfortable over there. I actually can see it. I can see this being true, sadly. I do feel a bit of around 30, 40 million, which seems low, probably would get this done. I honestly feel like this might happen. Now, the other side to the story is that then Ortega would then be the number one. And I am fine with that. I think the temptation with people to go out and shout out the latest hype name, go after Diego Costa, a guy, let's be honest, that no one was even talking about 2-3 months ago in the Man City fan base. I feel like there's something to be said for trusting what we've got here a little bit. And I don't think we'd sign a new number one. I feel like we'd sign someone to back up Ortega, but also then trusting a guy that can play our way and that Guardiola trusts and that the teammates trust, because there's no guarantee. Like Diego Costa is not Diego Costa. That'd be interesting. Let's sign Diego Costa to go in goal. I'd be all for that. That'd be mental. Yeah, but Diego Costa, he's not Ederson level with the ball at his feet in the way that Ortega's not. But at least we know Ortega can play this system, and at least we know Ortega's adapted to the Premier League, and at least he wouldn't cost 60, 70 million pounds. So I don't think Manchester City, if this happens, would go for a new number one. I think they'd stick with Stefan Ortega, a man that has the trust. And I'm also want to be wary of people playing down Ortega. Everyone absolutely love Ortega. until he made that mistake in the FA Cup final. It happens to everyone. It feels unfair to sort of erase 2 years of goodwill towards Ortega because of one mistake in a final. Look, Ederson's made mistakes before. We all make mistakes. Everyone gets on Ederson's back when he lets a shot go through his arms that he should have saved because it felt easy to save. But we all, want to forget that when Ortega makes a mistake. Look, I want Ederson to stay, don't get me wrong. I think Ederson is still our best keeper in terms of the way we play. But I think Ortega is a phenomenal keeper, and what we may lose in terms of passing ability, I think his shot stopping is superior. I think it is. And you're right, Hamza. Hamza made the point in the chat. The jump from being a number 2 to number 1 is huge, though. Let's not act, though, that Ortega hasn't been a number 1 before. This guy, I know at different levels, but he's played in the Bundesliga for years as a number 1. He's used to playing against, good teams, Bayern, Dortmund, people like that. So this is not a guy who's come from nowhere, He knows what it's like to play week in, week out. And I feel like he'd get used to it very quickly. I really feel like it was obvious that when he played at the Bernabeu, Ortega was a little bit unused to that. I think that's probably a fair point. I mean, but it happens to everyone. I feel like after a game or two, the second he starts playing against Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, United in the Premier League, week in, week out, these big stadiums, he absolutely will be used to those kind of games, and it'll come naturally for him. I think he's not only human to feel a bit of pressure when all of a sudden he's the number 1 for a team like Manchester City Football Club. By the way, as MCFC City Till I pointed out, why the likes? Hello, guys. Let's get the likes up. 150 people watching, 20 likes. Come on, man. You don't have to like it for Ederson going, but like it for me at very least. But I think Ortega would be fine. It's a big shame if this happens. A massive shame. I don't feel like Ederson is done. I think he's got an awful lot to offer. And I think he probably would herald a sort of change, if we're being honest. I think it would herald a slight change in how we play, because I don't feel Ortega is quite as good on the ball. But at the same time, as Hamza said, I don't think Ederson makes a save against Tottenham. So you got to look at let's sort of rate it. If Ederson's a 10 out of 10 passing and maybe a 7 out of 10 shot stopping, I think 7 is the best he gets. I don't think he's an 8 out of 10 shot stopping. I think he's 7. And people go, oh, he's less than that. But you really have to sort of talk about the levels of lower league teams or whatever. But overall, he's probably about a 7. Someone said, did you compare Real to United? How bold? Now, I mean the size of the stadiums. As much as we put United down, playing at Old Trafford is still a big deal. It is. Playing at Anfield, playing at the Emirates, playing at even at Stamford Bridge, teams like that, it is a big deal. It is. And the derby is a pressured game, even though United are shite. So we can't ignore the experience of playing at these stadiums because they hold weight, unfortunately. Old Trafford will hold weight for an awful long time. But back to the point I'm making. If he's a 10 then a 7, I would say Ortega is at least a 9 at shot stopping and probably be, he's much better. I feel he's probably a good 8 out of 10 passing. Yeah, I think he is. And that all of a sudden averages around the same, 17 out of 20. And I feel he's definitely better than most keepers at passing. He's not Ederson, he's maybe not Manuel Neuer, but he's much more balanced, I would say. I think he's better at claiming, defending his area in terms of claiming shots from crosses and something like that. He's probably not quite as good at rushing out, but still pretty good. Ashley's probably got a point. His reactions are brilliant. He's probably 10 out of 10 reactions. Shot stopping, I would say about a 9 out of 10. I don't think he's like... Some keepers are freakishly good at shot stopping, like freakish. And I'm trying to think of someone... Like, you see Manuel Neuer occasionally at his peak make the kind of save where you go, that's just genius. And I don't think Ortega's quite that, but I still think he's a 9 out of 10. I think he's a world class at shot stopping, but not an all-timer at shot stopping, if that makes sense. Like, at one point, David De Gea, 10 years ago, was just a freak at shot stopping. He was. I can give that as a City if I can say it, but he was always bad at everything else, Courtois, there we go. That's a great example. Champions League Courtois, shot stopping, insane. But who knows, man? Who knows how good Ortega could be with regular time? Like, we always presume keepers just stop improving. No, they improve with confidence as well. So yeah, I think absolutely I don't feel like it's going to be a net loss in quality. I think it's going to just herald a slight change. I've not talked about potential number 2s yet, Tony Peachman. I haven't made... I don't actually know. There's some rumours that, you know, we were linked to that Lazio keeper, Christos Mandes, who's a young keeper. I would suspect it would be someone of that kind of profile, a name that we haven't really heard much about. You know, a young keeper who would come in, learn, pass it around a little bit. I mean, Andy's made a good point. Someone like James Trafford, but I don't think he'd want to come back and be a number 2. But that would be the great shout. Someone like him, we could do that. But I feel like it'd be not a big name. Joe Corrigan wouldn't have gone to the Saudi League. I don't know, mate. Joe Corrigan wasn't getting paid much those days. I think most people would go to the Saudi League. I'm not a fan of the Saudi lifestyle, but for a year, God, even I'd consider it, mate, for the money that they potentially offer. Look, if they want a fan channel over there, you know, do let me know. You know, Saudi League, give me a shout. You know, I'll cover. Give me $100,000 a year, and I'll cover your Saudi League for your fan channel. There we go. That will do. Maybe that's the next step for them. Actually, paying content creators to actually talk about the league on a regular basis. But I'll do that. You know, I need the money, man. Give me it. So there we go. Stephen, breaking news. Stephen to Saudi Pro League TV. There we go. Who would you want as a backup? I'm not going to pretend to be the expert there. That Turkish keeper is very good. He's no Rusty Rekber, but he looks pretty good indeed. But it's also about, once again, what can they do with their feet, which is crazy to say that. Yeah, Brighton's keeper, what's he called again? Brighton goalkeeper. What's his name? Verbruggen, yeah, Verbruggen. I didn't want to get that wrong, but I was actually right. He's a good keeper as well. So I feel like we're sort of going to have to accept that there's something in this. Of course, there's many things that need to happen between a player actually agreeing a deal and actually leaving. They have to come in with the right kind of money. They have to come in with the right package that Manchester City agree to. I don't know how possible that is going to be. You know, it could take a little bit of time. But I do think, unfortunately, we are staring down the barrel of an Ederson leaving gun, unfortunately. I'm sort of at peace with it. I love Ederson, but I am sort of hopeless romantic when it comes to football. I'm a firm believer that what makes football so interesting is the attachments that you have to players, the love you have for them, the stories that comes from them. And I do find it sad that Ederson can go, but we've written that story. Ederson's written his story. And if Ortega comes in, a guy that we signed from a then relegated German side, he got relegated, and then he becomes on number 1 eventually, and writes his name into Manchester City history too. There's a beauty in that, and for what I do know personally as well, and this shouldn't matter as much to you guys, but it matters to me. Ortega's a fucking don. He's the nicest guy at Manchester City Football Club, allegedly. One of my best mates works at Man City, and he loves Ortega. He said he's ace. He said he's like easily the nicest guy. Incredibly liked. Goodbye, Nicola. My wife's heading to work now. She's just like me. I love you too, wife. Everyone tell Nicola goodbye and hope she has a good day to work, and I hope you got your lunch and all that kind of stuff. Love you, and I'll speak to you later. But yeah, if Ederson goes, it gives a chance for Ortega to become that guy, and I'm absolutely fine with that. You know, I think we have to accept that things move on and life moves on. Do, of course, let me know in the chat what you make of this potential transfer. I'm not going to stay live too long, but once again, please give me a massive favour. Subscribe to the channel. I am closing on 70k. It would be appreciated. I am doing these daily live videos, and I hope you are enjoying them. This Man City Daily Live. It would be good to get to 70k finally. I've stagnated a little bit, but I'm getting there. Oh yeah, let's talk about the Theo Hernandez rumours a tiny bit. There are some rumours going around about Theo Hernandez being linked to Man City. I don't know where that's come from. I don't think it's true for what it's worth. I feel like it's just paper rumours. I mean, I don't know where it's just come from. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it personally with Vardiol. It feels like some random... I mean, it was on the Manchester Evening News, but I think they were aggregating a random rumour as well. Yeah, I don't know about that. AI-generated article, probably. Oh, AI. Okay, so it's not true. It's bullshit. There we go. Ignore it. B's got a good point, by the way, that City should probably be demanding a world record fee for a keeper for Saudi Pro League. I think, personally, I don't think we'll get that, but I think minimum 50 million. I think we should be doing that. I think it'd be a shame not to ask for an awful lot of money. Given his age, given the money, yeah, I'd be surprised. But yeah, as if AI is predicting rumours and then the Manchester Evening News and everyone else is fucking talking about it. Ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. McInerney, who's a BBC Manchester journalist, has sort of cleared that up. There we go. So it's basically no different to Football Manager making that rumour up. Absolute nonsense. Ignore that. Yeah, it's absolutely nonsense there. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much. I love you all loads. Do subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like. Let me know what you make of the Ederson rumours. And I'll see you later if anything else happens for another video. Bye-bye. In a bit. Love you all.